All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back at it live here at OverKlocked Gaming in Edmonton, Alberta for the Edmonton Open League of Legends tournament. I'm Kevin the Noteman Kyle.
And I am XMB.
And we're getting into our second matchup of the day with Easy Win on the blue side and Negative Space on the red side.
Yeah, the bands coming in so far, the Rumble and Zaya, as well as the Kazakhs and Echo.
Yeah, no, pretty decent bans with Zaya. Rumble actually has been seeing a lot more play recently, I think.
Yeah, he's definitely been played a lot more top lane, especially by people who have put in the effort, like Khan, like Huni, who have proven themselves on the champion.
Yeah, and we get the Renekton ban away. Kind of out of those three bans for Negative Space, the only really meta ban, I'd say.
Yeah, Kazakhs is definitely more of a solo queue champion, but Echo Jungle has been seeing a lot more priority lately with the way that the meta has swapped.
Yeah. And we do see Morgana being banned away as well. Nautilus picked up first pick alongside Sivir being the first pick for Negative Space here. So we will see Kitten playing the Sivir. Unless something really weird happens.
Well, last game, if that's any indication.
Yeah, if that's any indication of how today goes. And maybe the Leona?
Yeah, Sivir Leona, pretty good lane. They have quite a bit of harass. If Leona goes in, easily can get her passive procced by the Sivir Ricochet.
Yeah, Ricochet, Boomerang Blades got great range to help while Sivir's trying to catch up with the fight, because she is one of the lower range AD carries. But
yeah, and here we see the Lee Sin picked up. Didn't exactly work out too well in the last game.
Yeah, we had a Tristana hover.
And it will be the Lucian.
Now, I'm curious what lane this Lucian's going to go into.
It could go bottom lane for more of a hard engage, but we have seen Lucian played in solo lanes before.
Yeah. Lucian, one of those AD carries that's kind of found a space in the solo lanes with Tristana, Corki, Lucian being kind of the big three, I'd say.
Yeah, and Galio picked up here by Watery that could go into the mid lane, and that could signal something like a Jarvan.
Yeah, that could end up having something like a Protect the Sivir comp, old school composition.
Just like old school CLG with the Protect the Double Lift strategy.
Yeah.
But also with the Leona, Galio is a solid pick because Leona goes straight in there with the Zenith Blade, and Galio can just go in with the Grand Entrance, start layering up that CC and giving Kitten some free time to just hit those ricochets and boomerang blades.
Yeah, and a Kali band away here for Negative Space, so Shen as well, so we're really getting some ninja hate right now.
Yeah, clearly people just don't like to see those champions around in their games.
Yeah, Akali kind of got hit with the nerf bat a fair bit this season.
Yeah, she did get a slight buff on the most recent patch.
Yeah.
So she is still somewhat viable. Not as strong as when she had that micro stun on the first portion of her ultimate. But
no. But she has been seeing some resurgence. I believe she did get some play-ins.
I believe so, yeah. She's more of a niche counter pick at this point. She's not a huge priority, I would say.
Yeah. Which, honestly, I think that's kind of the role assassins should be in, is they shouldn't be like just a guaranteed win.
Yeah.
But we do see the Pantheon as well being banned out, and the Vayne, and Dr. Mundo going top lane.
I'm assuming that will be jungle. Mundo jungle with fleet footwork has been seen quite a bit lately, with Mundo dealing quite a bit of damage, having a really safe clear, and his ganks aren't too terrible.
Yeah, no, if you can land those cleavers, Mundo can do some pretty decent ganking work. We do see the Vladimir coming out for Easy Win here.
Yeah, I'm assuming that will be a mid lane Vladimir, and the Jax kind of solidifies that.
It could be a bottom lane Vladimir here with a mid lane Lucian, but we'll have to see where things kind of pan out here. And final pick here, hovering the Darius. Are we going to get the Dunk Man? We are. Ryuteros, as you can see in the thing, obviously a part of the Dunk clan.
Yeah, and it is Vladimir mid with Lucian ADC.
Yeah, so we will have Galio versus Vladimir for one of those really boring mid lanes.
Yeah, it'll just be quite stagnant. Top lane, whoever gets that early pressure basically will just take over the game.
Yeah. I would say Darius kind of has the edge early on against the Jax, even with the Counter-Strike. I feel like Darius has enough beef early on that Jax really can't do a whole lot to him. And even through the Counter-Strike, you still have the spin to deal damage.
Yeah, it'll really come down to jungle intervention early, seeing which jungler takes the priority path towards that top side, and seeing which one makes the first move.
Yeah, and then, I mean, we obviously have the extremely volatile Sivir Leona versus Lucian Nautilus down in the bottom lane. Two hard engage supports against two, honestly, really good dueling early game AD carries.
Yeah, the advantage for Lucian over Sivir is the fact that he won't be using as much mana to wave clear as Sivir with that double tap passive. But at the same time, Lucian is quite... They're both short range, so Leona does have quite an easy time able to latch onto him.
And Sivir does have the spell shield if Nautilus hooks onto her as well, so...
Yeah, it's going to be up to Kitten to use that spell shield as a priority, ensuring that Matthew doesn't get the CC he needs for Lucian to go in there and proc to press the attack.
Yeah, and so we do have the Spectator delay once again. Not on the tournament realm. We don't get access to the world's client. But, you know, so we got to wait through some things like Spectator delay. But thank you all for joining us if you're watching live here on OKG TV. We'll be getting into game right away here. Once again, I'm Kevin the Noteman Kyle.
And I am XMB.
Alongside XMB here. Second game of the day. And honestly, it should be, to use the words of EU, a banger.
Yeah, this will be a one of those games that you just love to see the constant combat.
Yeah, you got a volatile top lane and a volatile bot lane. Sure, you've got a stagnant pool in mid, but I mean, that's what Vladimir is.
Yeah, and Galio will look to hit level 6, start ulting into the side lanes, and create pressure for his top and bottom lane.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, these are pretty straightforward team comps. There's not too much to break down into. You got Lee Sin and Mundo, who are old school junglers. They've been talked about for years. Mundo maybe less so in the last couple of years than Lee Sin. Lee Sin's kind of always had that place in the jungle. Mundo's in and out.
Yeah, he's one that definitely isn't the strongest at times, but when he's in the meta, he is quite dominant.
Yeah, and I mean, Galio, Vladimir, stagnant pool, blah, blah, blah. Darius Jax is not a champion we've seen a lot of in the last couple years. Like, he'd be a fringe pocket pick for some players, but never really found a spot in the meta for a while.
Yeah, definitely not. With the resurgence of items such as Spear of Sojin, he has gotten quite a bit stronger, but even then he's more of a solo queue pick rather than a competitive draft pick because he can get abused early game by jungle pressure.
Yeah, he's always had that. He's one of those late game insurance policies, but you don't have that early game, and so much of the game of League of Legends is focused on early play right now that it's kind of tough to bring Jax into a composition.
Yeah, he's definitely more of a split push champion, has to scale and be able to take down towers solo. And if he gets collapsed on, he does have a few ways out, but he can easily get caught out and taken down.
All right, so we are getting into game here. Negative space on the red, easy win on the blue.
Yeah, easy win looking for just a standard 5-point here.
Yeah, got the line of scrimmage set up for easy win, but maybe we have a delayed invade here?
Potentially, but I highly doubt that. Although they do have a good level 1 on blue side, there is still an extremely toxic level 1 from negative space. Yeah, looks like negative space just fanning out, going to their favored sides.
Yeah. So just a defensive position in that bush in case there was some kind of an invade coming in. K for Kimchi going to be starting up on the Raptors, it looks like, for that Mundo clear, using the Burning Agony, I'm assuming. I haven't seen much of this jungle Mundo.
Yeah, it's quite strong. He does take very little damage from the jungle, especially with something like Fleet Footwork, but he will still scale into what we know and love from a top lane Mundo, where he's a really hard to take down tank.
All right, so quick start here. We're going to see Lee Sin looks like he'll be doing the Korean route, from what I've heard it being called, going doing your Krugs after red and then into Raptors. Get your farm up using 2 of the most valuable camps.
Yeah, trying to get that early level 3, trying to make those early plays. And already a trade in the top lane going towards Peter.
Yeah, just a little bit of back and forth there. Darius is kind of getting the better here, though.
Yeah, that W auto reset definitely will be able to put in work. Lee Sin looking for something here in the bottom lane.
Yeah. And Jax jumping in the top lane does get the stun, and honestly trading pretty well here early on. Lee Sin is coming in here as the hook does land onto Sivir. She does spell shield it. Leona will flash away, will get followed with the resonating strike, and first blood goes the way of Lucian and Team Easy win.
Yeah, that was just over-aggression there from Zelverak. There was no need really to take the trade there. They were doing fine in just poking and farming with the Ricochet and the Boomerang Blades. And going in for that play there, not knowing where the enemy jungler was just a little too greedy.
Yeah. And Lee Sin now trying to get an invade here on the blue side. And top lane, we do see a gank coming in. Mundo will be hooked up by Nautilus, but Nautilus is going to be in a lot of trouble here. Vladimir comes in too little too late for Nautilus. He goes down. Hong Kong player about to go down. The flash forward by Sivir does not find the kill onto Vladimir, but Lee Sin will get chased down by K for Kimchi. Slimy Rat now about to go down as well. Kitten getting that kill. And very bloody invade there.
Yeah, very, very over-aggressive by Woshi. And makes his bot lane pay for it.
Yeah, take the flash forward hook in. Darius not able to find the Q onto Peter in the top lane. And Jax barely getting out of that one. Jumps back in, has the counter-strike going, flashes the Q. Gets the outplay in the top lane.
Yeah, that was just insane by Peter there, flashing the heal from the Q from Darius, just ensuring that he can get that kill.
Yeah, and into the lower damage too. If that blade hits, that's a kill.
Yeah, the increased damage from the edge of the blade doing a lot. Plus, that healing would have ensured that Ryu would have gotten that kill. That was just extremely well played with that flash.
Yeah. That Jax, we're saying he might have a bit, or at least I was saying he might have a bit of trouble against this Darius early on, and it looked like that was going to be the case, but he's been trading really well in this lane.
Yeah, constantly using the Counter-Strike for that W auto reset, ensuring that he doesn't take too much trade damage and getting the stun off is quite well. He does have a level advantage now, so this lane could easily go into his favor.
Yeah, and he's letting the wave push in here. Doesn't want to try to fight Darius, who still, even with the kill, is a strong character with that big of a minion wave.
Yeah, Darius can easily dive with the healing, but until you get low enough, you do not have to worry about that.
Yeah, and now the jump in Counter-Strike goes out. The pull in is going to do a little bit, but Darius taking a fair bit of damage here. He's going under tower, takes the tower shot. He's going to be very low here and has to walk away. I'm not entirely sure why he was chasing that far.
Yeah, that was just over-aggression there. Losing the trade due to that tower shot ensures that he has to recall here. Peter looking to catch him off guard here. But also at the same time, all the pressure so far is towards that top lane.
Yeah. I mean, I can see it if he was planning to go back anyways and he figured, yeah, I can shove in this Jax a little bit, maybe make him miss a few CS while he's busy trading with me. And then I'm going to go back anyway, so I might as well, right?
Yeah, he did get only a ruby crystal off of that to match Jax's items. But also we see that it is, like you said, a stagnant mid lane. People do underestimate the amount of damage that Vlad can do with 45% CDR. So once he hits that point and constantly can be using his spell rotations, it will be quite a difficult fight for negative space.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, but at the same time, negative space has the old school win condition of 500 CS silver.
Yeah, it'll just be a matter of seeing, can they get to that point? Can Kitten spell shield the depth charge as well as get away from the Dragon's Rage from Lee Sin?
Yeah, and we do have the early Cloud Drake going right now. Negative space looks to be trying to pick that one up. The Sonic Wave will not find the dragon, and therefore Lee Sin not going to be able to try to steal that one away.
Yeah, they pulled it out just out of his range so that the Resonating Strike wouldn't be able to hit. But, yeah, that was really well played by Negative Space, ensuring that they get that early Cloud Dragon, making sure that they can rotate around the map, get that in-combat move speed to help dodge a few of those skill shots.
K for Kimchi trying to bait something out here. Lee Sin goes in onto Zelverak, kind of forgot K for Kimchi was there, and he's going to pay for that one.
Yeah, that one was just questionable at best.
I think he might have thought that it was just K for Kimchi in there, so he just sees a landed Q, doesn't check who it is, and then suddenly he's in a 2v1.
Yeah, he's quite a bit behind K for Kimchi right now. The Mundo just dealing enough damage to ensure the kill there. Also just putting on a clinic in terms of routing. So right now, K for Kimchi does have the advantage. We will have to see how Lee Sin deals with this. He does have a Tiamat for a little bit faster of wave clear, but at this point, it's more about having to get that gank pressure off.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, you do have the... It's kind of an interesting matchup because it's two opposites in that Lee Sin, usually the stronger early game jungler, as Vladimir does get engaged on here. 3 members in the mid lane for negative space, but not going to find anything. He does manage to flash away from that one.
Yeah, the flash of Woshi there used on cooldown, forced to flash out, as well as Hong Kong forced to flash, is really good. Ryu getting that pressure in the mid lane off of that roam. He can't exactly do much in this top lane, but trying to get pressure in that mid lane, give Watery some time to sort of just rotate and ult the bot lane if need be. That was really well.
Yeah, and Ryu Taros getting engaged on by Peter again. And once again, we just kind of see the jump in, counter strike, hit you once or twice, and then I'll just walk away while you're stunned.
Yeah, with Jax being 6, getting that extra damage every third auto will be pretty hard to deal with, especially if you can't land that Q on Darius to get the healing, because that trade damage will just start racking up.
And the Leona getting in onto Lucian down in the bot lane here. Excuse me. And Darius and Jax continuing to trade in the top lane. Not really anything there. Lucian managing to get the dash away as Leona was coming in. Kind of puts him too far out to really be able to follow up on.
Yeah, this game is going to start slowing down quite a bit, I feel. Both sides just looking to scale. Lucian most likely will go for more of a crit build after a Blade of the Ruin King to get that % health damage, because there is 4 tanks on the side of negative space. So it really is just playing around Kit and trying to get him to that point where he can solo carry team fights.
Yeah, and just continued trades in the top lane. And honestly, bottom lane hasn't been as volatile as I kind of expected it to be.
No, after that early misplay there by Zelverak, giving over the kill to the Lucian, it kind of has become more of a farm fest.
Yeah, you had that, and then you had the immediate invade by Lee Sin, which got countered by the right back by the bot lane. So it kind of gave away the first blood advantage that they'd gained.
Yeah, that first blood advantage kind of went to the wayside. Still having most likely a slight gold advantage due to the CS, but that assist could be the deciding factor there for that laning phase in terms of gold. Kitten is going for the Essence Reaver first item to keep his mana somewhat healthy, and compared to the Blade of the Ruined King from Slimy Rat.
Yeah, and Peter Pickle getting in onto Rio Terrace here. The flash forward forces the flash away from Jax, as he definitely would have been dunked on there.
Yeah, going in, tanking the tower, but
Yeah.
here comes K for Kimchi for the cleanup, using the Agony's Embrace. Or no, the Burning Agony, sorry.
Burning Agony, yep. Agony's Embrace is Evelyn.
There's so many Agonies and
Yeah, and Kitten now getting engaged on, gets knocked up as Zelvrak in the bot lane bottom tries to root up Slimy Rat, but he does manage to flash away from that one. Will continue to chase down Zelvrak. The root comes down, the hook comes in, and that's going to be the double kill for Lucian, as now Lee Sin finds himself in trouble as Watery has come up to the top lane. K for Kimchi continuing to cut him down with the cleavers. Hong Kong player just too late on the Vladimir again.
Yeah, and the Rift Herald spawned in the top lane, getting that first tower, getting all 5 plating there. A ton of gold coming over to Ryu, ensuring that he can get his items that he needs to start potentially dealing with Peter.
Yeah, and the bottom lane only getting that one tower plate off of that double kill down in the bottom lane. Kind of not what you were hoping for, I'm sure, if you're Easy Win.
Yeah, for Easy Win, they need to start playing around their bottom side. Their jungler is quite a bit behind. He can't exactly do a whole heck of a lot here. He can try engaging for the team, but at the same time, he really does need to just start coming back into this game, trying to ensure that his team doesn't fall too far behind, and ensuring that the solution can just stay safe in the backline, start using the culling, and just deal as much damage as possible.
Yeah, it's the old adage in the jungle, you want to play to your winning lanes. And right now you got a 3-1-0 Lucian, 8 CS up currently on the Sivir. Though that will probably change soon as Nautilus goes in with the hook, does get stunned up, but not much going to come off of that thanks to the Nautilus's shield. Kind of hard to damage the big boy.
Yeah, we did see a ping come in here on the bottom side as soon as K for Kimchi walked up. I'm assuming a minion did see him, so they do know he's there. And Lee Sin's coming down for the counter gank.
Yeah, Watery just kind of burning all of the items and skills, trying to push out his lane so he can get the roam down to this bottom lane, I'm pretty sure. I think we might see a lot of action here as, yeah, Watery's sitting in that bush waiting for Lee Sin to come and face check him. Does not get the Winds of War onto Lee Sin, but does get the taunt. A lot of damage coming out. The kick away into the Vladimir, and the Blast Cone is gone as Lee Sin does come back in. Galio getting away by jumping onto the Leona, but not for long. She goes down as well. Lucian with a double kill so far in the fight. Dashes forward, gets the triple kill onto Darius. Chasing down K for Kimchi. Peter Pickle does not have the counter-strike up just yet, and the last 2 members of Negative Space will get away after a disastrous fight.
Yeah, a 6-1 Lucian is just going to be absolutely astronomical here.
Ken stepping forward a bit, getting poked down, takes a lot of damage there. Culling not available right now, so gonna have to run away from this one. K for Kimchi does get the spell shield onto the hook, but Slimy Rat will go down. Ken managing to get some life back from that kill, but it's not going to be enough. Lee Sin will go down in the aftermath, but Ken does take another death there.
Yeah, the shutdown going over to Mundo isn't exactly what you want. You'd rather it go onto your Sivir, but at the same time, getting that extra pressure in the bottom lane will help out quite a bit. They can look to push down this tower here as plating has fallen.
And that's another thing to kind of look at is we're tied in kills right now, 8 and 8. But we've got 6 kills onto a Lucian for Easy Win and 5 kills onto a Mundo for Negative Space.
Yeah, that's going to be quite a big difference there. A tanky boy versus a guy doing a ton of damage. There's going to be quite a big difference there, especially with Lucian having a Blade of the Ruined King, can go for something like Executioner's Calling and deny that extra healing from Ryu and K for Kimchi. So that item will have a lot of value for only 800 gold.
Yeah, no, and honestly, it's almost a little surprising he's not picking it up yet. I guess you kind of are okay to wait until that level 2 ulti comes out for K for Kimchi. That's kind of when the most healing really starts to happen for Mundo, is once he gets that level 2 on his ulti.
Yeah, at this point, it most likely will be an Essence Reaver for Lucian going into that crit, scaling into the late game. So we'll have to see where that goes to decide how well this Lucian will scale. He could get away with something like a Black Cleaver, but that build has not seen very much play lately, as it does fall off quite hard compared to Blade of the Rune King plus crit chance. So we'll have to see what exactly happens, and I assume he will get, at least one person on the team will get an Executioner's Calling very soon.
Yeah, and I'd imagine also Morello Nomicon will be picked up by Vlad at some point as well. But I could definitely see both Jax and Lucian picking up that Executioners. K for Kimchi just causing havoc in the jungle, drops Lee Sin very low, has to be kicked away for safety, and Watari continuing to not die to the 1v1 against Vlad.
Yeah, it's, like you said earlier, a stagnant matchup where neither mid laner can really do a whole lot. Galio does have quite a bit of an AP ratio, so going for something like this Protobelt will ensure that he can split push safely with that Grand Entrance. But also Vladimir, once he hits that 40 plus CDR threshold, he will start being able to deal a ton of damage with constant rotations with his ultimate.
Yeah, and I have a feeling we're going to see Galio start building more MR pretty soon here, as Vladimir not getting in on the kill board, but still 003, 152 CS. He's picking up steam.
Yeah, once he gets to a higher CDR threshold, he will be able to start taking out Kitten in a quick rotation. But it is a matter of, can he get to that backline without having to deal with something like Ryu or Watery CCing him up and ensuring that he can't get back.
All right, and we do have the engage coming in here. The heroic entrance comes down, and Nautilus will be the first one to fall. K for Kimchi is dominating now. Ryu Taros has taken out the Lucian. That's all of the gold for easy win, and they're going to just have to run away from this one. Vladimir going down on the backside. I didn't even see when Lee Sin died.
I'm assuming it was in that huge cluster at the beginning with that Grand Entrance. He, I believe, got taken down by Zelverak with the Leona W.
Yeah, so that's a pretty good comeback after the last team fight went so horribly for negative space.
Yeah, catching them out there with them being the primary engage, with Zelverak going in, and then the Grand Entrance from Watery knocking at least 3 people up in that fight made it absolutely huge for a turnaround.
Yeah. K for Kimchi going out, grabbing that dragon alongside Kitten, and that's 2 Ocean Drakes now on a Mundo.
Yeah, on a team that has 4 frontliners and 1 huge DPS, you want something like those Ocean Dragons in order to keep your front line a little bit healthier with the extra regen.
Yeah. But even then, like, they don't have to worry too much about, like, when they're sieging, because there isn't a whole lot of poke coming out from Easy Win's comp here either.
Yeah, they don't exactly have the greatest of wave clear either, compared to something like a Galio and Sivir, where Sivir can easily just 2 abilities clear an entire wave, and Galio as well there with those Winds of War, dealing a ton of damage with the AP ratios.
Yeah, and we do see Kitten trying to push out the wave here, not quite spending all of her spells on it, but keeping that mid wave clear. The final outer tower left standing for Easy Win at this point.
Yeah, there isn't a whole lot that they can really do in terms of hard engage, rather than the Nautilus ultimate. Lee Sin's just too far behind. If he goes in, he gets blown up instantly. So,
but at this point, if you're Lee Sin, even if you get blown up instantly, if you get that kick onto Sivir, that's I'd say worth.
Yeah, the matter of the fact is, can he get that kick off without getting seed up by the taunt, by the hook, by the stuns, and ensuring that he can't get that kick off to Kitten, especially with a spell shield as well, being able to deny that CC.
Yeah. And we see Peter Pickle having to run away there in the bot lane as there was a Mundo coming barreling through the jungle for him.
Yeah, Mundo doesn't exactly have too much that Jax can counter-strike there. And then, as well as the extra tenacity off of that Burning Agony, that helps quite a bit when trying to chase down people.
Yeah. Now we see Galio heading up to the top lane. Darius did just swap with him, so looks like they're going to want Galio closest to the Baron right now. Probably looking to siege that one up now that the mid lane tower is down.
Yeah, Ryu does have teleport to come towards the Baron, but Peter does as well, so they can try matching each other, seeing which team can get that early engage off first and call in for the TPs. Slimy Rat forced back by K for Kimchi there.
Yeah, and Matthew Nautilus getting in a little bit of trouble here, getting slowed up. The Sivir is trying to run away, does not spell shield the hook or anything. K for Kimchi in the back line here, just running onto Lucian, not dying. And there isn't a whole lot Lucian can do about that. Lee Sin now trying to get away, will burn down to Zelverak's Ignite. Kin does go down in the back line, but it didn't matter when you had K for Kimchi just running through yours.
Yeah, they definitely need to pick up something to deal with that healing on the side of Easy Win. They need that Morellonomicon on the Vladimir. They do need the Executioner's Calling on something like Lucian, just to ensure that they can try dealing with K for Kimchi. At this point, he's a huge tank that has so much healing that they have to do something about it.
Yeah, and that's going to be the mid inner tower going down as well off of that fight. And Lucian should have that Executioner's Calling right away here. You'd imagine that longsword is going to be built into one as soon as he gets like 400 gold.
Yeah, he just needs to get that item. Then they have a slight chance to be taking him down. He does have a Warmog's armor. And so out of combat, he will heal quite a bit.
I'm a little surprised K for Kimchi didn't just go for that Lucian.
Yeah, and here we see Zelverak getting caught out.
Yeah, does get the stun onto 3 members there, but it's not going to be enough. And unless that Resonating Strike does hit, almost got away with that flash and burning like 3 ultis.
Yeah, that was very close for him getting out, but still getting hit by the Sonic Wave and Resonating Strike did ensure that he would go down. And K for Kimchi still running amok in the Easy Win jungle.
Yeah, does land the cleaver onto Jax, but Lee Sin goes after the Lee Sin, and Lee Sin will be able to dash away to Vladimir and keep relatively safe here.
Yeah, so far this has been pretty much all negative space in this mid game.
Yeah.
Early game was quite good with Peter getting that solo kill in the top lane, the triple kill for Slimy in the early game, but right now they're just starting to make some poor decision making.
And we do see the Infernal Drake on the mini-map being taken down right now. Lee Sin is in the area, but he's not going to be anywhere close enough to getting that, and that's just more power onto Kitten.
Yeah, that Infernal is definitely going to start hurting with those ricochets going through, constantly critting fights. He does have 2 crit items right now, does have a Null Magic Mantle. You have to assume that's going towards something like a Quicksilver Sash.
Yeah, the ulti is popped by Kitten. Will be start chasing down the Nautilus. He does end up hooking onto, I think, a piece of the wall there and ending his own life. Not able to get away from that one.
Yeah, this should be Baron here, I would assume. There's there's no front line coming in for Easy Win.
Jax is doing what he can with the split push here on the bottom side. But the Baron is getting done right now by Kitten and K for Kimchi. The Ryutaros goes in and just dunks onto Lucian. Hong Kong player having to run away. Does get dunked on away as well. Does not get away from the Darius. Does not pass go. Does not collect $200. But negative space gets the Baron.
Yeah, and on the positive side of that as well, they do get the teleport out of Peter, taking him away from that bottom lane where he could have potentially gotten an inhibitor.
Yeah, no, honestly, if you're Jax there, you gotta keep pushing that. But Lee Sin trying to do something. The rest of negative space is going to chase him off as this Baron finally goes down. Took a little bit of time, but it is secured by all 5 members of negative space, and now they're just going to start pushing in everything.
Yeah, they do have teleport advantage for top lane, so they could easily do a 1-3-1 here and look to pressure the side waves to ensure that they do have an easier time in the mid lane.
Yeah, no, very strong split push with the Baron buff between Darius and Galio. Darius's TP is up right now. Jax is not. So this could be a lot of trouble.
Yeah, Darius should start being able to match that Jax with the Sterak's gauge. He will be quite a bit tankier, especially if that procs. So him splitting will be quite beneficial. And on the side of the mid laners, Watery is quite a bit in the lead in terms of gold income.
Yeah, 0, 1, and 13 compared to 1, 2, and 3. There is a 50 CS lead, but honestly, not that. That cleans up a bit more than you'd think. Only 400 gold behind is the Vladimir compared to the Galio.
Yeah, Galio does have that Zanya's Hourglass ready to go. When he goes in with that grand entrance, then there's not a whole lot that you can really do about it.
Yeah.
He goes in, Zanya's, you can't exactly blow him up.
Yeah,
and the CC is quite hard to deal with.
Honestly, he's building full AP. He's looking to blow people up himself. That Winds of War is going to start doing a lot of damage, especially if you land that initial impact hit.
Yeah, that percentage of health will start adding up, and it will be quite hard for Hong Kong to deal with, as he is a Vladimir, still able to heal, but on the same side of the coin, it's hard to deal with all the front line running straight at you.
Yeah. And now just a continued push. K for Kimchi being the split pusher down in the bottom lane. Galio up in the top. And the inhibitor tower goes down. Nope, not quite yet. That was the top tower that went down here. Inhibitor tower will be going down right now. 2 cannon minions just pounding away on it with the Baron buff. And that's another thing. We were talking about the wave clear earlier. They've got nothing for long range to get those cannons.
Yeah, no. They have a Lucian, not the longest range ADC. And if he walks up, he does risk getting taken down, especially by a solar flare from Leona. So
Yeah,
there isn't a whole lot that he can do to secure it.
You got solar flare from Leona. You got the Zenith Blade from Leona. You got the hook from Ryuteros' Darius. You've got taunt from Watery. Like, there's so many ways that stepping up to kill a cannon creep goes wrong for Lucian.
Yeah, and right now, Negative Space is just marching around Easy Win's base, looking to potentially end here. Woshi does get taken down to about half health.
The solar flare does come out as the engage goes down. Easy Win just trying to stay alive here. K for Kimchi goes golden under the towers. The dunk's trying to come through as Ryuteros goes on a rampage. Double kill coming out. He will be taken down by the tower. Slimy Rat does survive with the heal as well, but this should be the end. Kitten near full life as Watery trying to run away. Gets the taunt down. K for Kimchi comes into the back line, kills off the Lucian, and Negative Space kills off the Nexus in a pretty dominant win.
Yeah, right there showing why they are one of the best teams in the city. Constantly performing here every time, and you can see exactly why.
Yeah, no, just extremely strong performance. I don't know about you, but I was a little worried early on. You had all that gold onto the Mundo, not really on any of your carries. But K for Kimchi said, yeah, no, I entirely wanted that gold lead. Let me show you what a Mundo can do with a gold lead.
Yeah, he just absolutely tore the game up. Only 4 CS behind his own top laner.
But that being said, you got to call into question, you had the 6, 1, and 2 Lucian, and one of the problems was he didn't have that Executioner's calling in the early fights, which is what got Kitten going later on and got the rest of the team going later on, was Mundo just running into the backline, running everyone down. Before you finish that Essence Reaver, you throw in that Executioner's calling. How do you think that might change the game there?
In the end, I don't think it came down to that as much. It was more so just easy win, picking bad fights, trying to engage on things they couldn't handle, instead of just conceding what needed to be done and just trying to farm out and look for fights, potentially even just look for some picks, try catching out someone like Watery or Kitten. And they did catch out Zelverak near his red buff, but in the end, that was about all they really could do, was just try picking up the scraps. And at the end, K for Kimchi and the rest of Negative Space just pulled out with the win.
Either way, congratulations to Negative Space continuing to move on in the winners bracket. They will be sitting in winners finals now. Just waiting to see who they'll have to face there. There's a couple games to go before we find that out. That'll do it for us for game number 2 of the day here. We'll be back soon with more League of Legends actions live here at OverKlocked Gaming, so please stick around.